What's up, guys? Welcome to the Start Today podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cavallini. Today, I'm delivering you guys a podcast. Guys, I miss you. Let me just lead with that. I miss the routine of delivering you guys a podcast of consistent value and, covering topics, all things, personal development, success, growth mindset, discipline, mental toughness, and, problem solving. Just all the things that we routinely discuss here on the podcast. Obviously, with things the way they are currently, in society, it just hasn't felt appropriate, shall we call it, to be doing episodes of which, we normally do. And I know things are about to take a turn for the better, and I really, really look forward to getting back in the swing of things, and not just getting back in the swing of things, but stepping things up. I have some really, really awesome ideas, fun new things that we're going to be doing in the future. I have a bunch of amazing guests that I've had the opportunity to connect with, and not just connect with, but like just be in better touch with all the adjustments that are happening. I found myself just having a little more time and freed up energy to just maintain the relationships that I've worked really, really hard to establish over the years. But guys, today I want to just jump on here. It's just me. You might notice a variance in sound quality due to the fact that I'm doing this from my home, from an application. So bear with me on that regard. But guys, I'm gonna just do a short episode today, and I wanted to just basically check on you, make sure that you are in fact staying well. And what I mean by that predominantly is staying well and staying healthy mentally. Physically, that should go without saying. Hopefully you're doing that by obviously, prioritizing your health and maintaining or abiding by the guidelines that the government currently has in place for us. But, I also, look, I know everybody's situation is different. I know that this situation is impacting us all without question. The levity, the severity of how it's impacting us obviously varies. Now, the thing about that is, I believe a high percentage of how this situation, quote unquote, affects us or impacts us is a direct reflection of how we respond, how we react, where our focus is, what we're thinking about, where our thoughts lie. I mean, are we living in a chronic state of anxiety, right? Worrying about things that haven't happened yet and in all likelihood will not happen? Or are we focusing on what we can control and just doing the best that we can during this pivotal time in history? I also wanted to I was thinking about something earlier, and it just compelled me to jump on here. And I wanted to just look at this thing from a completely different perspective than I think that anybody, has discussed, has thought about, or, is openly, put out in a podcast, a show, on the internet, whatever the case is. A lot of people are quick to, focus and think about and discuss, publicly, especially on social media, about, them losing their jobs, the government closing down, normal life for the most part, and how it's affecting them in a negative way and all these things. And look, I get it. When times are tough, it's easy to, let, things, frustration, stress, animosity, just looking back and thinking about things that you could have and should have done different, having to deal, with that, like whatever. I completely get it, that it's easy to let that stuff build up and, you know, it's easier to want to conveniently have an outlet or an individual or, whatever, something to blame. The fact is, this situation, whether you are at a place of consciousness where you will be able to interpret what I'm going to say, agree with it, embrace it, or even understand it, and guys, please stick with me, through this. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, even if it does piss you off slightly in the moment, it's going to be a short message, but I think it's a very, very important one. This situation isn't happening to us. This situation is happening for us. And I want you to explore the possibility that the situation with the coronavirus and the COVID-19 pandemic and all of the changes that have been imposed in society as a result was placed here by, a higher being. Again, I'm not a overly religious person. I'm a very spiritual person. I don't know what, the individual who's listening to this now, I don't know what you guys believe in, but I think that the majority of us believe in a higher power of some sort. But what if this higher power put this situation in our lives to teach us very valuable lessons that, let's be honest, that will be impossible to forget, right? And instead of looking at this situation as just, devastating and, all these like soul crushing things. And, what if the situation was presented in our lives to teach us to be more thankful, for the opportunities that we have, right? For the jobs, that some of us are out of work. Some of us are, out of, getting their normal check, having to rely on, government assistance. To be more thankful and appreciative of just the fact that we have malls, right? The fact that we have stores that we can go to and buy things. The fact that we can go on the internet and typically, with a couple clicks, procure anything we want, and just the overall convenience that we have, the luxuries that we have in life. What if the situation was imposed on us to teach us how to be a little more resourceful, to teach us not to always rely on convenience, to show us that we have within us right now the ability to solve problems, to take control, and to take productive action to make things happen, even when, things aren't available the way that they normally are. This situation, I would make the argument that this situation for a lot of people is a huge blessing, in the sense that it's going to teach them how to be more responsible with money, why it's important to save, why it's important to live within your means, and why it's important to ensure that, you're not putting yourself in a situation where you are living paycheck to paycheck, which, by the way, 78% of Americans, according to, there's conflicting information on the internet, but a survey done by Career Builder that was reported by Forbes, which I would think to be reputable, suggests that 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paychecks. That's not good. One false move, okay? One, bout with sickness or a virus or, I don't know, a broken leg that would prevent you from, being able to come into work, and, you don't have vacation time saved up, whatever. One false move where you don't get a paycheck and automatically you're in a very, 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 very bad situation. And even if, you're good, you make it a whole year or whatever, and you don't have any of those situations, you don't miss any work, and you're always getting your checks. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, unconsciously, you're living with a copious amount of stress that is always going to be there, because in the back of your mind, deep within your subconscious, you're aware of that fact. You're aware that if, something happens, you're going to be in a very uncomfortable, bad situation. All right. This situation, no doubt, has opened up a lot of people's eyes as far as the importance of being mindful and prioritizing their health, practicing mindful eating habits, exercising regularly, getting proper sleep, just putting good things in our body to where, we're healthy, we're well, our immune function is intact, and we're able to just live our best lives. The fact of the matter is, the overwhelming majority of the population don't prioritize their health. They don't even think about it unless they get sick or something happens to where, they're forced to think about it. This pandemic, call it what you will, is here to teach us a lot of things. I'm not sure any more important than how profoundly important and paramount to our survival our health is. And, not just in times like this, but all the time. Our health. I mean, guys, this is a big one for me. Obviously, I talk about it all the time. Our health needs to be number one. It needs to be ahead of our career, ahead of our family, ahead of every other thing, because without it, none of those other things matter. If we do not take care of our health, our immune systems will not take care of us, therefore leaving us in a very vulnerable, weak position to where we can't take care of ourselves, let alone take care of anyone else. All right. This situation for sure is teaching people the importance of remaining calm under pressure. Now, some people are learning that lesson, others are not. Others are, dealing with the challenges that, life has currently faced them with in, the most unproductive manner possible. But being calm under pressure is, it's a borderline superpower. Your ability to remain calm, to remain level-headed, and to keep your wits about you when the heat is turned up, shit gets crazy. It puts you in a position to make proper decisions, to make decisions that are in your own best interest. To go, okay, shit has hit the fan. You are now in this. You can freak the fuck out like most people do and basically exacerbate the issue, or you can remain calm and recognize that the path forward lies on the other end of you making sound decisions. Decisions, mind you, that will otherwise be impossible for you to make in a state of stress, fear, and panic. All right. This is giving us valuable repetitions in our ability to just practice and to become more proficient at being calm under pressure. And that's an opportunity, guys, that I would not take lightly and I wouldn't sleep on. All right. Another big thing that I was thinking this situation is doing, and people probably aren't aware of it, but I'm going to make you guys aware, I'm going to make our listeners aware. And guys, I know some of you veteran listeners, I know you guys, you guys have the right mindset. You get it. Things that I'm saying, maybe some of these things are, you've gotten to the point where, you think like this and you're looking for all the opportunities that are present. You recognize that, when the dust settles with this entire thing, this would have been a solid opportunity for you to level up, right? Not everybody's there yet. And, I'm also hoping that, those of you seasoned listeners, for anybody who's not dealing with this situation very well, please, if this podcast, this particular episode, if this message resonates with you in any way, shape, or form, share the episode with them, because people right now, there's a lot of people out there that are not handling it well. If you guys have Facebook accounts, scroll through your Facebook feed for evidence firsthand. It's alarming. Some of the things that I'm seeing, it's alarming. Some of the things that I'm reading, it's fucking crazy that, people are reacting and responding to the situation the way that they are publicly. But on the other hand, that's also a good thing in a sense, okay? It's a good thing because it's giving us an opportunity to quickly identify and be made aware of the people around us, of their true character, of their true nature, and essentially how their involvement in our life is impacting us, whether in a positive or productive way. If somebody is on the internet complaining, bitching, trashing the president, trashing the government, trashing their employer, just being the most just negative, acting the most negative manner, humanly possible. And, there's somebody that's, in your life routinely, like, let that be a sign from the universe that that is somebody who is straight up lowering your standards, somebody who's making your life not as good, and somebody that you need to immediately exile off of your island and out of your life permanently. All right. The next thing, this situation is teaching us, whether, again, some of you guys are aware of it or not, is discipline. Discipline is something that all of us, myself included, need to work on. There's no, there's no finish line. There's no ceiling when it comes to discipline. It's something we can always stand to improve in. And, if we seek to become the best versions of ourselves and make the most impact in our lifetime, we absolutely need to consistently do better as far as our levels of discipline are concerned. Keep in mind, discipline is foregoing immediate short-term gratification for the things that we want most. This situation has actually forced a lot of people into that position, and a lot of people who otherwise have no discipline, have never prioritized discipline, who have never experienced discipline in their lives. This situation is forcing a lot of people into a situation where they're having to be disciplined. But you have to be aware and realize that that's what's happening. Be grateful for that opportunity to improve on and enhance your levels of discipline, and the benefits and the positive components that accompany it. Only then are they going to be revealed. The last thing that I believe this situation is, I believe that this component, I think, is just something that's gonna, when people hear, they're gonna sit back and they're gonna be like, damn. But I think it's true. I choose to believe this, guys. I choose to accept this. This is my perspective, and this perspective isn't off a cognitive bias. It isn't off of a subjective way of thinking or believing. This is a perspective that I choose to maintain, because by doing so, it brings about more positivity and abundance and growth and learning opportunities into my life. But what if this situation has happened and has been interjected into all of our lives to show us the objective truth about who we really are? All those things that I just mentioned, all of those things, all those lessons, all of us are obviously at different points, different things that we're struggling with, different things that we're doing well, different things that we need to improve on. But at the end of the day, if you can maintain that perspective and look at the situation as a blessing, as a gift from the universe, from a high power, from God, from a spiritual entity, from whatever, and recognize and truly believe that this situation has happened to show us who we really are, then you truly have the opportunity to transform every and any area of your life for the better. Because it isn't until we're confronted with the harsh, unforgiving truth that, look, I get it. Doesn't always fucking feel very good. It doesn't feel very good, struggling. It doesn't feel very good not being able to produce the income that you're used to. It doesn't feel very good, realizing that your skill set is basically dispendable and, you're easily replaced or easily let go of in times of adversity, crisis, or chaos. It doesn't feel very good, when, you're freaking the fuck out and, with all this stress and in your mind, you're like, oh, well, of course I'm freaking out because, shit's crazy right now. I have a lot of stress. The world is crazy, whatever. Those are all excuses. Those are all convenient narratives that we tell ourselves to protect ourselves from the truth. Because, my friends, nothing, and I truly mean nothing, hurts, stings, or is a bigger wake-up call than the truth. But although it may in fact hurt, it's also the only thing that's going to set us free. This situation has happened for us. And now that we know the reality, now that we know exactly who we are, we have the opportunity to take productive, corrective, immediate action to fortify any of the areas that we need to improve on. And look, call me an eternal optimist, but I do not look at that as being a bad thing. Guys, much love. Please know I'm here for you. I'm thinking about you every single day. I'm sending good vibes. I'm doing what I can to be a little more active, on my social media, especially on my stories, to just put out just positivity, perspective, putting a lot more fitness content out there because, look, I don't want people to use the situation as an excuse to regress and to think that because they don't have gyms, they don't have options. I mean, look, I've recently built a gym in the process of building a gym at my home, but the stuff that I'm putting out, I'm purposely and intentionally doing workouts where, I'm using either just body weight stuff or a single dumbbell, one single dumbbell, getting amazing workouts in. And again, I have a lot of equipment, but I'm doing that for you guys. I'm doing that to show you guys what's possible. And I really, really hope that you're utilizing and taking advantage of that content, taking advantage of this situation, this extra energy, this extra time that we have, that we've been gifted, because it is not going to last forever. And it is up to us to put it to use during this limited window of when it's available to us. Guys, I love you. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope that this spoke to you in some way. Please share it with somebody who you feel will be impacted, and just stay positive, stay strong, stay resilient, and just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So let's do the things that we're supposed to do in the meantime. So when we get out of this situation, we can look back on it and realize that it actually wasn't here to break us. It was here to serve us. And we'll then be in a position to look back on all this bullshit and honestly and genuinely say thank you.